Looks like the sunlight at least finally came out today in certain areas. It looked nice. And what's going on today? I guess in reading this, it seems like there's more green light for things like drone delivery, at least in the US anyways. This one says, FAA finds no significant impact for Amazon drone deliveries in College Station. So people usually are concerned about things like safety and all that, but I guess it seems like they're giving them all the go-to, permission per se. This one says the Federal Aviation Administration conducted an environmental assessment of Amazon Prime Air's plan to add drone package delivery options in College Station. The report addressed potential benefits of the service and also included public concerns of potential private property damage and noise made by the drones. According to the document, the FAA found, quote, no significant impact and said that the service will not affect the quality of the human environment. College Station City Council first approved a zoning change to allow an Amazon facility in July of this year. Shortly after, in September, the FAA reached out to the College Station residents to get feedback on the idea of drone delivery in the area. And as they mentioned in this report, they want this launched by the end of this year. The end of the year is actually almost over too. And as they say in the report, no significant impact per se in terms of, things like disruptions and all that. It makes me wonder if there will be things like drone noise, for example, but according to them, it should be okay, which is kind of interesting in that sense. Again, there just seems to be such a difference between whether or not you're flying it recreationally or commercially. As a lot of this stuff recreationally, people will say, no way, too dangerous, too noisy, but for this, it's okay. This is one of those situations where, as long as you're a big business or someone with high power in your area, then you can get away with whatever you want. Which kind of makes me think, because I was reading this today where apparently it says our trade minister here had a huge conflict of interest giving, people that she knew, friends or something like that, like their company money when she shouldn't have. This one says, trade minister apologizes for breaking conflict of interest rules. Maty NG failed to recuse herself from contracts granted to personal friend. Report finds. So what happened after she was caught per se? It says International Trade Minister Maty NG has apologized after Canada's Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner concluded she placed herself in a conflict of interest through her involvement in a decision by her office to award contracts to a friend's company. NG's office signed contracts for media and communications training with public relations agency Prompt and Circumstance, co-founded and run by Amanda Alvaro. The commissioner stated in his report released Tuesday that NG and Alvaro are friends according to the definition of the Conflict of Interest Act. Alvaro is a regular panelist on CBC's Power and Politics. Well, I guess that wasn't a very good public relations, situation, huh? And by the sounds of it, she had plenty of opportunities to kind of realize, hey, this doesn't sound right. Maybe they shouldn't do that. It says, Minister NG twice failed to recognize a potential conflict of interest involving a friend and oversight of her obligations under the Conflict of Interest Act. Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner Mario Dion said in a news release. And for her statement, it says, there is simply no excuse for contracting with a friend's company. In a statement posted to Twitter Tuesday, NG apologized. I take full responsibility for my actions. I should have recused myself and apologized to all for not having done so. At no time was there an issue of any personal benefit for me, nor any intention for anyone to benefit inappropriately. I don't know. Ultimately, you'd have to ask too with this, is anything actually going to be done? Or is this one of those situations where, okay, slap on the wrist, don't do that again? It makes you wonder, how many times do people get away with this? Is that, again, the theme? As long as you have a lot of money and power, you can pretty much get away with anything per se. And on an extra note, in terms of almost the end of the year, if you guys remember, I said I wanted to, for example, try to change things up creatively and all that. I was actually wanting to get a time-lapse camera. I was thinking of one, but I just got noticed today where I was wondering why it hasn't been released yet, and the supplier was saying they aren't going to carry it because it didn't pass some, quality assurance reviews from their point, so they didn't want to, sell a product where in the end people will be complaining. So, I guess that's a little unfortunate. That was my plan initially, to get something that seems reasonable for a time-lapse camera and all that. I really enjoyed it actually. When I'm for example, out in certain places, it just takes forever, so it's better to have some kind of, dedicated equipment for that. So I was wondering if I should get something like a GoPro or something like that afterwards. But again, just managing the power and all that, it just seems so cumbersome. Whereas you could have a dedicated solution that lasts for days and days as an example. So it's just a little thought about that. Wow, I buried a peanut, I guess, from before. Alright, see you guys later.